cards to toss and which ones to keep instead. They go from the cafe, says forget about it, leans back, spins his thoughts like a blade cutting holes in the track. Lee at the front, head advocate, steady stare, every word like a warning, every silence a dare. All of them leaning in, clock crawling, eyes bright, every secret feels louder than the buzzing of the night. Crimes after dark, we close the night outright. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel. We watch the threads ignite. You can bury it in paper, you can lock it in a file, but the truth bleeds through, drip by drip, tile by tile. We're dragging it to daylight, name by name, line by line. If you wrote it in the shadows, we'll read it out this time. Yeah. Crimes after dark, we close the night outright. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel. We watch the threads ignite.
What if the story isn't over? What if the answers were buried? What if we've been looking, but never seeing?
Ancient footprints in forgotten stone, maps that charted worlds unknown, voices hidden in the desert sand, pages torn by unseen hands, broken temples, silent skies, questions buried beneath the lies. Every answer breeds a doubt, every mystery calls us out. They said believe, don't ask why, just close your eyes and pass on by. But shadows move behind the wall, and sometimes truth is strangest of all. Question everything, question everything. The stories they tell, the things they conceal, the ones that won't heal, the secrets revealed. Question everything, question everything. Through the darkness we ascend into devil's advocates beyond. Lost sacred text in hidden caves, words that survived 1,000 graves. Watchers staring from the stars, ancient lights on distant shores. lives beneath the ocean floor? What moves between the trees? What if the myths remember what history forgot? What if the impossible is simply what we're not? Think for yourself. Fear no question. Fear no answer. The search is sacred. That's where the journey begins.
All right, welcome to a Crimes After Dark on Wednesday night. And we are just kind of assembling the panel. There's a lot of stuff going on. Everybody seems to be alive at the same time right now, but we are assembling the panel right now. We've got Robin, we got One. My wife who's been gone for a week is actually probably watching because I see that she's chatting on but she's not going to have cell coverage for long because I know she's got to cross mountains and stuff like that. But anyways, she's going to be back tonight. We wanted to give a little teaser again to Friday night show after Friday night fuckery on Crimes After Dark. On the other channel, we're going to cut over to the other channel to do our Friday night show on the new channel, Devil's Advocates Beyond, if you like a little bit of that. And then Saturday night is a special event with Sue from Revelation Tarot. And some of you in the true crime space over here watch her as well because she's had readings on the Idaho 4 case. So she's, I know that a lot of you are very familiar with her. Sue and I are going to be doing a special live together on Saturday night as well. So hopefully you'll catch all of those events. And then Monday, we're going to start a new thing on the other channel. Instead of Crimes After Dark here on Monday nights, which has been traditionally our lowest night, we're going to start a new thing on Monday over there. But every other night of the week, Tuesday through Saturday, we're going to be right here at Crimes After Dark as usual. Sundays we take off as usual. So lots of changes, mixing things up. But let's get the panel going tonight. I want to brag a little bit tonight about a prediction I made almost a year ago, or maybe it was a year ago, that has come true. I did a video on it today. Not a lot of people watch it because, again, YouTube thinks we're an Idaho 4 channel. We're trying to fix that. So we're going to talk about my prediction that came true, if you didn't know already. But anyways, let's get Robin on here. And One, how are you guys doing tonight?
Evening.
Doing well.
Evening.
Hello,
Evening.
Everyone. Glad to see everyone.
Yeah. I didn't know if one was going to make it or not tonight. You kind of came in by the skin of your teeth tonight.
I'm everywhere.
Well,
I performed some Matrix.
Right. Portaled through a phone to get over here on time and all that good stuff. Yeah. So it's all good. I'm glad to see you guys here. We may be joined here shortly by Dago. He had a show that ran long, so I think that he did text us saying he might be here. So, actually, I think he said he would be here, but he was wrapping up. So they've got a long show that's going long. And like I said, everybody's going at the same time. So it's one of those things. This is the hot slot. By the way, I thought about doing a poll to see if we should move our time because everyone seems to go at exactly this time. So I've always been struggling with it to go at this time because this is the best time for the United States audience, both East and West Coast, or or West and East. Yeah, anyways, or whether we should move because every other creator is going at the same time and people have to struggle on what to do. So I don't know that we'd ever make everybody happy, because if we move, somebody who's loyal is not going to be able to follow.
Right.
So I don't know. Anyways, so it's good to see you guys. Do you guys have anything special before 1-1 kicks us off with a monologue? Because I know he's got a monologue for tonight.
Of course. Always.
No.
No, nothing special. Nothing special.
No.
All right.
Just I mean, we'll get into, you know, we'll talk about it when we get into it. I just
okay.
I saw
the
Peter the Peter interview earlier from yesterday, but we'll talk about it after.
Yeah, I saw some other streamers streaming it right now. There's everybody's doing a live take on it. So
that's the second one. That's the second one. I didn't see the second one yet. But.
All right. Well, let's do your monologue first.
Okay. Is it good to be alive in the den on a Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackson, Juliana, my beautiful wife. Love you guys always. All right, here we go. Tonight, America stands at crossroads. Not because of an election, not because of a war, but because of 3 criminal cases unfolding in courtrooms right now that could reshape how justice is viewed, challenged, and ultimately delivered across this nation. Welcome back to Crimes After Dark. Turn down the lights, lock the doors. Because tonight we're stepping into a landscape where murder, constitutional law, and one of the most controversial convictions in modern true crime are colliding at the same moment in history. These are not just headlines. These are not just court cases. These are cases that could change America. First, we travel to New York, where one of the most closely watched murder prosecutions in decades has taken a dramatic new turn. Luigi Mangione, accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in a shocking act that ignited fierce debates about healthcare, corporate power, and political violence, is now preparing a defense that few saw coming. After months of legal battles, sealed hearings, and mounting public fascination, Mangione's attorneys have revealed they intend to argue that he was suffering from an extreme emotional disturbance, or what's known as EED, at the time of the killing. The move could fundamentally alter the direction of the trial and potentially reduce what prosecutors argue was intentional murder to a lesser offense. The announcement follows weeks of controversy surrounding secret court proceedings and growing tensions between prosecutors and the defense team. His state trial is now scheduled for September. But this case has become larger than one defendant. For some, Mangione represents a cold-blooded killer. For others, he has become a symbol of anger aimed at America's healthcare system. And somewhere between those two narratives sits a jury that will eventually decide whether justice is measured by the law, public outrage, or something far more complicated. Then we turn to Washington, D.C., a Supreme Court case that many Americans have never heard of. Yet, its outcome could affect thousands of criminal prosecutions across the country. The case is Hunter versus United States. At its core lies a deceptively simple question. When a defendant signs away their right to appeal as part of a plea agreement, is that right truly gone forever? Or can a judge's words in a courtroom restore it? The Supreme Court heard arguments earlier this year and is now weighing a decision that could redefine plea agreements nationwide. Because more than 90% of criminal convictions in America come through guilty pleas. The implications stretch far beyond one defendant. Prosecutors, defense attorneys, and legal scholars are all watching closely. The ruling could determine how much power plea bargains really hold and whether defendants retain avenues to challenge their sentences after the deal is signed. And finally, we turn to one of the most haunting mysteries in modern true crime, Delphi. The murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, a case that gripped the nation for years. Richard Allen now sits convicted and sentenced to 130 years in prison for the murders that shocked Indiana and devastated 2 families. But the story is far from over. His appeal is moving forward. Defense attorneys are aggressively challenging the convictions, arguing that significant legal errors occurred during the trial. The Indiana Court of Appeals has granted oral arguments scheduled for September, setting the stage for what could become one of the most scrutinized appellate proceedings in recent memory. Prosecutors maintain the conviction should stand. Allen's attorneys insist it should be overturned. And that raises a question that echoes far beyond Delphi. When a jury delivers a verdict, is justice complete? Or is the real battle only beginning? 3 cases, 3 very different courtrooms, 3 legal fights that touch on the deepest questions facing the American justice system: mental responsibility, constitutional rights, and the reliability of criminal convictions. Tonight, we'll examine the newest developments, the legal strategies emerging behind closed doors, and the consequences that could ripple across America for years to come. Because after the headlines fade, after the cameras leave, and after the courtroom's empty, the decisions made in these cases may help define what justice means for the next generation. This is Crimes After Dark. And with that, live from New York, it's Wednesday night.
Awesome sauce. So yeah, that's why that's kind of the theme that I wanted to have tonight, which is that landmark cases in the United States, or at least cases that could change the shape of American justice, are kind of right in front of us right now. Idaho 4, for example, if Brian Kohberger files some kind of post-conviction relief, that's going to change people's opinions about a lot of things. Is he waiting for the Hunter versus U.S. or U.S. versus, it's Hunter versus U.S., right? My rights should not be waived. I shouldn't have to waive my right to appeal. That may be unconstitutional. If they rule that it's true that a person can't waive their rights to appeal, we default back to Idaho. Was Brian Kohberger right to have waived his right to an appeal, or should he be able to appeal? And that decision, if Kathy from Kathy's Indie Zone is correct, it looks like the Supreme Court typically, she said, goes on a break around July, and they're going to want to make a ruling on that case before July, which happens then before September, which is when Kohberger needs to make some decisions. So is this all lining up for some monumental changes that could happen overnight? Of course, on the heels of that, we've got now an announcement from Amazon Prime that they're going to do part 2 of a series in Idaho, where they're going to have all the cops tell us why they did it right, why Brian Kohberger is the guilty party. Trying to get ahead of Brian Kohberger's PCR filings that he might make. That's what it seems like to me. I feel like, how convenient. Now, granted, will they get it aired by September? But what do you want to bet that they get that aired, telling us all in America why they got it right before Brian Kohberger has a chance to file post-conviction relief, saying they got it wrong? So,
hey,
and don't forget, you have that movie coming out too. I don't know exactly when, on
the fictionalized movie about the
what is it what is it, Life, whatever,
Lifetime,
yeah.
I'm contemplating,
and
we haven't even gotten to the biggest case. It's going to be is the Luigi Mangione case. Go ahead, Robin. What were you going to say?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was just going to say, maybe that's why Fry never answered you. He's too busy filming for
right. I gave him an offer. I'm really surprised he's turned me down. I gave him an offer to talk about the case, but for some reason he doesn't want to talk to me. He didn't even want to acknowledge me. I don't get that. But anyways, and we'll talk about Luigi Mangione. But I will say this: when that movie comes out, the fictionalized movies of the murders, and maybe also, well, when the fictionalized movie comes out, I think I'm going to do that as a members only live. Like, I might watch it and talk to people about it on members only. I don't know that I'm going to do a public.
Yeah.
I feel like the one on Amazon is going to have to be a public facing response.
The Lifetime one's going to be horrendous. I know. We already know it. It's going to be BK.
It's going to be horrendous.
It's going to be him like finding them on like Instagram or OnlyFans, or no, they won't even do the OnlyFans. It'll be like he just finds them somehow on, like, on social media, and then start stalking them.
I've never seen a case before that they have done so much work to convince the public of what happened.
Yeah,
why
crazy.
Why are they so hell bent on making sure everyone in America believes that it happened a certain way? And then every time legal documents break, we're like, wait a minute, it didn't happen that way. And then they double down and go, yeah, no, it totally went the way that we said it was, regardless of what the legal documents. It's asinine. But
yeah,
if you guys will permit me, let me brag for a moment about the Luigi.
Oh yeah,
you should.
Yeah, you should.
Let me take a moment. Let me take a moment to bask in this moment. So a year ago, or it feels like a year ago, I didn't actually mark it on my calendar, but I actually did a prediction video about how the Luigi Mangione case was going to come out. And I took a lot of flack because I was covering Luigi Mangione heavy on TikTok. And then I moved over to YouTube because I couldn't talk about Luigi Mangione without getting strikes or bans for saying things like murder. Like I can't say he shot somebody. You can't say that. You got to pew pew. It's pew pew. Fuck pew pew. We don't do the pew pew shit here. This is why we moved. This is why we moved to YouTube, so we can talk like freaking adults. Brian Thompson was murdered, and we can say he was murdered. I'm not going to pew pew my way out through anything. Anyways, so I moved over to where adults can talk, and I was pretty heavy on this case. I brought in attorneys to talk about the case. I talked to 2 attorneys early in the early days. Cynthia Thornton was the first attorney I had on. She was a defense attorney. We talked a lot about Luigi Mangione's case and whether he was going to get a fair trial. I had Ali Benevento come on, criminal defense attorney for like 20 years in South Carolina, right? South Carolina. Anyways, she's been on the show. Now she's on court TV a lot, so we don't see her as much because she's really, really, really busy on top of her actual trials and work. But the point is, we had a long talk. And one of the things that I laid out, and it was funny because I got pushback from some attorneys. I got pushback. I said, I'm not a lawyer. I love this. I feel really proud of this. I said, I'm not a lawyer, but if I was Luigi Mangione's legal team, here's what I would do. Step 1, try to get the notice of intent dropped to execute him in the federal case. You got to drop the execution part. Step 2 would be to get the terrorism step dropped in the state case so that you can bring it down to second-degree murder. Because if it's second-degree murder, then you can argue the EED defense, which is extreme emotional disturbance. And I had a lot of people say, boy, your theory sounds good, but that'll never fucking happen. What happened? Luigi Mangione's team got the death penalty taken off. They got the terrorism thing dropped, and now they just announced they're filing the EED defense. I fucking called this like a year ago. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited.
I'm still annoyed about the bag though. I'm still mad about the gun.
Yeah.
Should be thrown out.
Yeah.
And let me be clear.
You did so call it.
Everything I said is happening. And look, and here's the part that I said. This is the why I want you to understand. I'm not celebrating murder. I'm not celebrating vigilante justice. But what I said was, this is going to allow his legal team to put the American healthcare system on trial. And I had lawyers say, that's never going to happen. That's a really hard sell, because as soon as he says, well, United Healthcare's policies were killing people, they'd say, Your Honor, United Healthcare is not on trial here. Luigi Mangione's on trial for killing Brian Thompson. There's nothing to do with, but it is. It has. If you have an EED defense, it has everything to do, because you have to explain. It's required that they explain what was in Luigi Mangione's head when he pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
If it had to do with his being disturbed and distraught over all the lives that are being lost because of the healthcare system, he has to explain that to a jury. And therefore, the healthcare system gets put on trial, which I know people said that's never going to happen. But here we are. How do they not? Wow. How do you not address the healthcare system if you're going to explain why Luigi Mangione got to that point?
Well, the answer is the other lawyers that you have had on, who are amazing in their own right.
Yeah,
they don't have a devil's advocates beyond channel with tarot card reading and all kinds of stuff. So they don't have the specialist talent.
They didn't tap into the ether. Right. I should have put on my Swami hat and the gold thing.
You got it. No, you have very good instincts regarding a lot of this stuff. You might not have a law degree, but you have a lot of knowledge. You have great instincts. So I felt pretty good about it. I'm not trying to brag so much as I was saying. I was laying out the argument in legal documents, what I saw happening. For example, when Pam Bondi, the United States Attorney General,
called Luigi Mangione a murderer of an innocent man on public TV and went on Twitter and went on social media to call him a murderer, I said that's a violation of his rights. And it was a violation of Rule 23.1, I think it is, in New York State. Everything she did was technically a violation of his rights. And what happened was Karen Agnifilo fired back and said, you're going to call my client a murderer and defend a murderous healthcare system. And I said, holy shit, they are going to put the healthcare system on trial. They are. Karen Agnifilo tipped her hat when she said, you're going to kill my innocent client and try to defend a murderous healthcare system. And I was like, this is going to be a landmark case in the United States, because regardless of how you feel about the actions of Luigi Mangione, it's the healthcare system crisis in America which led somebody to come to the conclusion that this might be the only way to make change in America. And again, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. What I'm saying is we're now going to have that dialogue. We're going to have that dialogue on a public stage, because Luigi Mangione's defense team is going to have to explain to a jury how he got to the point where he did, if they claim that he did it, which it seems like they are. It sounds like they're claiming Luigi Mangione did do this act, but he was under extreme emotional distress or disturbance. And you have to understand, therefore, and look, I said this before in my long form video today, they don't have to convince the jury that Luigi Mangione did what a reasonable person would do in his situation. That is not the standard here. The standard will be, can the jury understand why Luigi Mangione, being the kind of man that he is, got to that state at that moment? They just have to be able to understand how he decided that in that moment might have been a choice. That's all they have to do. So they don't have to agree that it was justified. They don't have to agree that they would have done the same thing in his shoes. All they have to say is, explain to me his mental state, how he thinks, and can I understand how in that state of mind he might make that decision? And that could reduce a second-degree murder charge down to manslaughter. It's like, as I said, I walk in and I find my wife in bed with somebody else, and there happens to be my pistol sitting on the nightstand. I pick it up and I shoot one of them. If I did it, they might argue in court, did you or did you not pull the trigger? Yes, I did. Well, what was happening at the time? Well, my wife was in bed with my brother. Oh, well, maybe I can understand how in your state of mind that might make a fucking difference. We'll give you manslaughter, not murder. You didn't probably plan that out. You just lost your mind for a minute. And a lot of people would. As long as they can reasonably say, I can understand why somebody might lose their mind, they can reduce those charges. So it's a big, big, big issue. And again, it's fun watching the legal. But Karen Agnifilo was a master at her craft, right? She was doing really, really big legal moves. And I said, if nothing else, regardless of how you feel about Luigi Mangione, you can learn a lot watching the legal defense. It's a master class in legal defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I do think it's going to be extremely important and extremely important to watch moving forward. To see how big. And this is going to affect the insurance industry. A lot of people don't understand how drastically this could affect the insurance industry. I mean, is it going, depending on which way this goes, will it make other insurance agents, companies change the way that they operate? Will it change the way that certain investors might think? It could.
Yeah. And that it's interesting because, we're there's some really big court cases going on right now, right? The Hunter versus United States that has huge implications, and at the same point, not getting political, but we always talk about how there's a lot of changes that need to be done, with grand juries, with the plea bargain crap, a whole bunch of stuff. Could be better. We may have a good system. We may have a system better than other countries. That doesn't mean that we can't improve and be even better than we are now. Why not? But without question, definitely the United States, we definitely have issue with our healthcare system. There's no question with that.
We sure do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Canny Mag asks a question, and I'm going to take this as a legitimate question. What do you mean explain his mental state? Like, seriously? Yes, seriously.
Yeah.
Again, I painted a picture. If I walk in and my wife's in bed with somebody else and there happens to be a gun right next to the nightstand and I temporarily lose my mind and shoot them, one can argue to a jury, this is not the way that man normally acts. He would not ever have normally killed somebody. It's not in his nature. He hasn't harmed a fly. But in that moment, he lost his mind temporarily. Juries are allowed to hear the argument that you lost your mind temporarily. So I gave a big example of how, and I'm not saying it did happen this way. This is what you have to understand. You're allowed to tell a jury that this could have happened this way, and it puts the healthcare system on trial. Let's say they said this. Luigi Mangione had a back injury from a surfing injury, right? And he realized, he came to realize that the pain was coming and going, and that certain things were going to be limited to him. He would never, ever be able to be the kind of man that he wanted to be. He wanted to be a rodeo star, whatever the case may be. If there was things that he knew he would never be able to do that he always wanted to do because the back injury would never allow him to do it. And he's angry. He's angry at the medical system, right? And so let's say he's starting to spiral down a bad thing. Like, man, I'm fucked. My life is fucked. My life is ruined. He's spiraling down a negative thing. That could take a while. And then let's say he starts looking into the health insurance industry. Why didn't they cover this? Why didn't they cover that? And then he realizes, holy shit, it's not just me. The health insurance fucking system in this country is killing people. Like, literally, I've got it bad because you're not fixing my back, but people are dying. They're dying every day for claims that are being rejected. And let's say that spins them into even more of an emotional distress. So it's taking time. And then let's say, and this is all hypothetical, and then let's say Luigi Mangione's he's traveling around the country and he's on his own all the time. Sometimes he's camping, he's got his backpack, he sleeps out at night. He gets a gun for self-protection. I know you're thinking this is a stretch, but let's say he gets he's going around in hostels in dangerous areas in New York, and so he carries a gun for self-protection. So let's say he didn't go that morning with the intent to kill anyone. He has a gun in his backpack because he's couch surfing everywhere and he's in dangerous places, so he has a gun for self-protection. He doesn't want to harm anybody. This is an argument that could be made to the jury. And let's say he decides he's distraught about the fact that there's going to be an investor conference in New York in downtown Manhattan, and he just happens to be there, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go fucking protest. This is bullshit. People are dying. And maybe, again, he didn't go there with the intent to kill somebody. And maybe he's there waiting for the thing to start, and he's distraught, and he's working through this, and his mind's all spinning, and out steps Brian Thompson unexpectedly right in front of his face. And he's like, that's the fucking CEO of United Healthcare. And he temporarily loses his mind, reaches into his backpack and shoots him. That would be an argument for the jury to hear. Would he have normally done it? Did he go there with the intent to kill Brian Thompson, or was he spinning himself into this horrible state of mind, and then an opportunity popped up unexpectedly right in front of him, and he lost his mind? Fuck that guy, and he shot him. If that was a momentary snap of mind, they're allowed to present that to a jury. Now, whether you agree that is even reasonable to happen, a jury can hear that, and if they hear that, that means the healthcare system's on trial.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
And just this was a hypothetical. I don't want somebody coming in here being, well, devil's advocate said that. No, this is a hypothetical situation. This is hypothetical. This is something that the defense could say. We don't know what the defense is going to. We have no idea. But we're presenting a hypothetical situation of what could potentially, be, put out there to the jury by the defense.
Right.
And,
I mean, think about your own family and friends that you have. Most of you who are a bit older, I don't think we have any. I doubt we have any kids in the chat. But if we do, so be it. I'm sure all of you out there have had someone in your life that a friend, a family member that at some point got denied insurance, for whatever. And it's ridiculous. It's insane. There's something fundamentally wrong with our system. I'm all for, I'm not, in favor of socialism and communism and all that. We know that doesn't work. We have proven examples of countries where it doesn't work. But where it comes to health and I believe it's directly connected to our food as well. Our food as well. I mean, there are so many lies and so much nonsense that's just given out.
And I want
It's sad. It's sad what they do. I honestly think I know the old saying, and it may be true. I don't know. People say, oh, they could have cured cancer, a long time ago, years and years ago. And some of you may not be wrong, because it comes to it, you're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars. Do these companies make money off of curing disease or treating a disease?
Treating health, exactly.
And then
off of treating conditions,
right, and not conditions. And I know we're a crime channel, but just that's why I mentioned the food industry as well, because. Oh, thank you. And it's amazing. Amazing.
I got to get back to
amazing.
Comment. I was waiting for you to wrap up so I could talk at Tiki Bar, and then Ange dropped. Thank you, Ange K. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Love it. Tenderloin is fucking on the fucking menu. Let's do this. Anyways, thank you very much. Thank you much for the you bought us lunch. It's good to see you again. That's amazing. Thank you for the support, and put Tiki Bar's comment back up there, by the way, so I can get to that.
Yep, I'm going to.
Appreciate that. The point I was trying to make is this: didn't Luigi lie in wait? The point is, sure, that's exactly what the prosecution's going to argue. It's exactly what they're going to say is Luigi Mangione was stalking Brian Thompson. He went across state lines, taking public transportation. He hunted him down like a dog, and he laid in wait for hours outside the hotel. Actually, he showed up just minutes before Brian Thompson came out. He did some social engineering to make sure when he knew. So they're going to make that argument. Absolutely, they're going to make that argument. And a jury may believe that that's exactly what happened. But the part that I think that people are missing is the defense, whether you buy it or not, whether the jury buys it or not, are going to be able to hear the counter argument. Maybe he didn't lie in wait. Maybe he was there for something else. And if they present the counter argument, everyone in America is going to hear the healthcare system put on trial. These are going to get to hear, this is what he was thinking. This is what he was doing. And regardless of how the jury feels at the end of the day, the story is going to be headline news about all the shit that comes out about how bad the medical system is, how abusive it is, how many people die every single day. Those stats are going to come out. They're going to be read by his attorney in court. And it's going to be, well, if the media has the balls to print it, they're going to print the statistics, and it's going to be a conversation in America.
Yeah. And it's such a small world. I've mentioned it, I think on one show like a while ago, but my best friend, who actually he lives upstate New York, he works for United Healthcare, and you know what his job is? What do you think his job is? He works on appeals. He works on appeals. Yeah, people are trying to get.
I heard a statistic, and I think it was less than 1% of denials insurance are actually appealed by people. Less than 1%, and the health insurance company knows that. They know that the likelihood when they reject your claim, only 1% of people are actually going to fight back on them. And a lot of times they get denied on, you took too long. You took more than 30 days to appeal it. So then your denial of appeals time, they know the game's in their favor. They know most people will never actually appeal. They'll just take the no and go, I guess I fucking die. I guess my mom just dies because they said no. And they know that you're going to give up on it. And if you fight,
they're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. You have to constantly fight with them nonstop. When my son was, he's 6 now, and he was like 3.5 months old. He actually he got a stomach virus from me, and he was born right in 2020 in the center of COVID. So we called our local doctor or whatever, and we did all the stuff that she told us to do. Didn't work. He couldn't keep anything down. So we went to the emergency room, and the doctor told us, oh, he has to be kept overnight for observation due to his age and everything. We're like, okay, and they put an IV on him. My wife I wasn't even allowed to go. She stayed in the hospital with him overnight. About 5 months later, I get a bill in the mail for $15,000 saying that, well, typically for this kind of thing, there was no reason that he needed to stay in the hotel overnight. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what are you talking about? I had to, it is insane. You want to hear about talking about playing phone tag. I think I must have been on the phone for hours, like one day, like sent to the insurance company, back to the hospital, back to the insurance company, like, oh, you got to talk to this person, you got to talk to that. I'm like, I don't care what you do. I'm not paying 15 grand. This is a 3-month-old baby in the middle of COVID. You made a decision. It's not my fault if the stupid hospital we went to coded the thing wrong, because they go by how it's coded. If they coded it wrong, that's not my problem.
And they're incentivized to make coding errors, so the time goes by, absolutely, to appeal. Yeah.
So ultimately, no, I didn't wind up paying it.
Well, that's good. And that's why, not that we're trying to hold a master class on this or anything, but that's why it is important for you to appeal these things, because you can appeal it and win. And, like you're saying, one, there's $15,000 that if you hadn't appealed it, you'd have,
I was
you'd have
fighting
either paid or,
Oh no, I was fighting them to the end. They would have had to.
Right.
They would have
but
had
not
to.
everybody does.
Yeah, they would have had to garnish my paycheck to make me pay for that.
Right.
There was no way I was giving into that.
Well, and the other thing is that they also know that there's a lot of people who don't know how to appeal it, and especially a lot of your elderly people who
that's what
Silence
Silence
to huge disadvantage.
Imagine being elderly and you don't know what to do. You don't have the skills that other people do. You don't know what your rights are.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Our system is broken. Our healthcare system is broken. We read I read the entire book for members only, An American Sickness. And we read the whole book about how bad the system is. And we read the book because Luigi Mangione had publicly stated people should read this book. Like, I'm not an expert to tell you how bad the system is, but read An American Sickness. And it is bad. It's horrible.
Like, I'm not in favor of Obamacare, because I think there's a lot of issues with it. However, I do think that everyone had, I don't know how to do it. I wish I had to, I could come up with something and do it. I know a lot of people have tried. Everyone has a basic, value of wanting to be healthy and just live your life.
Right.
So everyone should be able to have healthcare. It shouldn't matter whether you're, Elon Musk and you can fly to whatever mountain and get some special, herb or something, or, you're a homeless guy living on the street. And I'll tell you, a lot of people, who don't know, but I mean, if you work in the city and you come across, I know a lot of people live in rural areas. A lot of the homeless are former vets, and that's another thing that needs to change. It amazes me. It really disgusts me how vets are treated in this country, and they should have the ultimate health care. They shouldn't have. You fight for the country, you put your life on the line, and these guys come back, and they have all kinds of psychological problems. They shouldn't have to battle about healthcare. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I'm just looking through the chat here. I mean, it just since we started talking about this, I've seen at least 10 different
lots of stories. Yeah, people's giving stories about Right. The number one cause, I think, I better be careful about this. Number one cause of bankruptcy in the United States is medical bills. People go bankrupt. I think it's. Let me double check. I want to make sure I get that state right, but I'm pretty positive that's the case.
It's probably pretty high. It's probably pretty close. If it's not number one, it's got to be up there.
Right. It's probably between that and student loan debt. Which don't even get me started on that.
Yeah, that's another disaster. And I know we're a true crime channel, but some of these issues, they are important, every now and then to mention.
And they tie into it.
Yeah.
Right.
So yes, The short answer to my question is yes, medical issues are cited as the leading contributor to bankruptcy in the United States. Medical bills and your medical problems associated with loss of work. That's why it said the short answer is yes, because sometimes it includes work, loss of work and things like that. Do your medical treatment not getting done? It's the number one cause of bankruptcy in America. People lose their fucking houses and their careers and their families over a basic need to get your health care covered. We've got a crisis in America. I've been saying it for a long time. And again, none of this is to justify vigilante justice, but it is a problem that is going unaddressed. And maybe this will open a national discussion. I hope it opens a national discussion.
Right. I couldn't silence Unchained. I couldn't agree more. And that's one of the issues, because everything always comes down to money, always. And that's the problem. When you're dealing with medicine and medical, it shouldn't be about money.
And the slippery slope, Silenced Unchained, the slippery slope to this is, I agree. If a doctor says something's medically necessary, the insurance company shouldn't be able to override it. But here's the thing. The slippery slope is insurance companies are buying hospitals and buying doctors. So then the doctors work for the insurance companies. Will they prescribe something if it's going to cost the insurance company money?
Right.
The fucking insurance company owns your doctor and your hospital.
Yes. And then that
problem.
And you just hit a nail you just hit a big nail. Again, I know we're true crime, but this stuff is, hits me very, very close, and it annoys me and bothers me to no end. Exactly what you said. The insurance companies own the hospital, own so many doctors, and then what happens? You go in, you don't feel well, or you're sick, or you have something, and the doctor, you'd like to think, oh, they have an oath, right? They have an oath to help, and they want to help people. It would be great if they all took that seriously, but all I could tell you is look at what happened. What is it? I guess I don't know the exact year, but I know it's like in the 90s. Look what happened with the pill epidemic that went on. You had these doctors. I think there's all kinds of shows and TVs on things on Netflix you can look up, where they had, some of them have been charged and whatnot, but not to anywhere to the extent of what should have happened, where they were just writing prescriptions for pills because people wanted pills, and they're making tons of money off of it. So the doctor gets incentives and so they push certain medicine because they'll get more, and are we trying to make money, or are we trying to make people better? It bothers me.
I got a million anecdotes, and everybody does, and about incentivize, because Hank Green's wife talked about being incentivized, because they got to pay, the doctors have to pay off debts. One of the things that I noticed recently, and it was funny because I'll try to do this quick. Not too long ago, when I went to my doctor's office, they started giving me a new questionnaire. It was a voluntary questionnaire, but the questionnaire was about my drinking habits and my recreational drug use habits. And they said, you don't have to fill it out. But I'm like, I don't have a problem. I'll fill it out. I checked a box that says I have a drink occasionally. And they asked if I'd like to talk to the doctor about medical counseling for alcoholism. And I'm like, the fuck, everyone drinks in America. And here's what I found out. Medicaid and Medicare pays doctor's office for asking the question. If they ask about your history, you've had a drug screening. That's called a screening. They've asked you about it. So they're incentivized to just give you the form. And then if you fill it out, if they offer to give you counseling, they get paid for counseling. So it's saying, hey, would you like to talk to our doctor about that? They get paid for that as well. So they know it's sheer numbers. I'll just ask every motherfucker that comes into my office if they'd like to talk about their alcohol use. And would you like to talk to our doctor about it? And I get paid for that. So what the hell are we doing?
It pisses me off.
Right, everything is incentivized.
I actually,
everything. And another thing I really hate is there are. This question's been on even your job applications become incentivized some way, shape, or form, because there are questions on there. Any kind of job application, it's been for years. Have you ever had, or do you currently have a disability?
Yeah.
So they're looking to see, because how does that affect that? it affects your hiring prospects. If you say, yeah, well, the insurance company that your employer goes with might be like, well, they're not, if they have had a disability or whatever, we don't want them because their costs are going to be higher.
And how do you like this potential? I don't think we're here yet, but I wouldn't be totally surprised. Let's say you checked. Okay, I'm in Oregon State. Oregon has decriminalized marijuana, as a whole lot of states have. They've decriminalized it, but federally it's not. Right. So let's say in a state where I'm allowed to smoke marijuana if I want, I checked on the box. Let's say I did check on the box. Have you ever smoked marijuana? And I say yes. What if an insurance company says, well, that's illegal and we don't cover people that are doing illegal drugs. So we're just not going to cover your upcoming surgery because you admitted to being an illegal drug user. Is that going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, but you're totally allowed to do it in that state.
Yeah.
Hey, federally,
it's ridiculous.
Sounds like you just admitted to being an illegal drug user. We don't cover illegal drug users.
Yeah. And anything that you can give them a reason to deny you coverage or anything is used against you. So it's tough because like you go to the doctor or whatever and you think you want to be honest and like you want help, but you have to be very careful.
So Panda's like, if Luigi's lawyer made this their opening argument, they'd be like, not guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so bad. It's so look, a jury gets to hear that. And this is why I also said in the video, and I won't get super long in the nuances, but even if Luigi Mangione does have to face the federal court system, and I said this, if he essentially says in the state case, I did it, but here's why I did it, he's fucked in the federal case because he just admitted to murder that I did it, but here's why I did it. And the federal government doesn't give a shit why you did it. They don't have an extreme emotional defense. However, there is this little pesky thing that everybody hates talking about, which is jury nullification. A jury could say, yeah, he did commit murder. And we say not guilty because we're not going to fucking find him guilty on this. They could do that. And is that possible? It is possible. Why?
It's
because
possible.
So many people are pissed in America about the system that someone in that jury might think a message needs to be sent. So
especially in New York. Right? In New York is super liberal too. It definitely could happen in New York. On a side note, I know we're talking about all this stuff. I didn't really get to look. Was there anything that happened with? I know I saw just like a quick headline. So while I'll tell everyone, I actually had jury duty today.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny. I knew there was a slim chance in hell that I would actually be used for anything. I forget I know they have. I forget the actual term. The state and the defense. They have a certain amount of like, I forgot what it's called. Yeah, and I forget that process.
Yes, they can excuse people. I forgot what those are called. Yeah.
So they actually, it's funny. Because some of the cases were civil, some of them were criminal, and they made us watch this little documentary talking about the preponderance of evidence and talking about, beyond reasonable doubt, like certain things, and like, the judge will further explain stuff to you. Like you're all going to be called, and you go to different rooms, and then they'll decide. And I was just sitting there waiting, and they make you fill a questionnaire, and then you go before the lawyers and the judge. So I was in the last group that went right before lunch, and they were like, "Oh, that last group that was called, you don't have to fill a questionnaire." So I went into the room, and the guys, the court officer was just like, "You've all been dismissed." So they gave us a sheet. I knew I wouldn't. I knew there was a slim. Yeah. I didn't even get to the point of being interviewed by the judge or the lawyers. I didn't even get to that.
Yeah,
I didn't even get that far.
Just because I like to be an
challenge.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like being an education channel, so it's called peremptory. It's a peremptory challenge or a peremptory strike. So that each side is the prosecution, the defense is giving a certain number of people that they can just say nope, that's not on my jury, and they don't have to explain anything. They get it, and each side is given the same number of peremptory challenges, which they can just say nope, not the cop. The cop's not going to be on.
It's interesting. It's interesting though. They made us watch a whole big thing too, and they're like, no matter what case you're involved in. you cannot text, you cannot talk about it, you can't do anything. You know, they were pretty, you know.
Crazy.
So with that, I didn't really get to check. I know I had seen a headline. I know Rex was in Suffolk County today.
Yeah, and he got sentenced to life in prison. He got sentenced to life in prison, as we expected. I don't know what the exact charges were, but he did get sentenced, and it wasn't. I mean, what surprises there? He pled guilty, right? So there was no chance he was gonna not get life in prison. I didn't. I can look it up real quick if you want, but I didn't watch the hearing. But I did have somebody say, "Hey, did you hear he got life in prison?" I'm like, it's funny because I almost tuned out. Like, well, why wouldn't he? Like, did I expect anything else than life in prison? Of course. And I'm sure it's consecutive, multiple life sentences. Like, he'll never get out. He'll never be eligible for parole. 3 life sentences, as he said.
Yeah. Yep.
But the age-old question: what happened with Shannon Gilbert, though?
Actually,
yeah.
Oh. So here's what I just read an update. 3 consecutive life sentences for first-degree murder and 4 consecutive sentences of 25 years to life for second-degree murder. So again, at that point, it's kind of trivial. Like he's not getting out. But here's a question. Rex Heuermann struck a deal of some kind, right? Because he added admission to a murder they weren't even charging him with. And the reason would be for that is you give me a little something and I'll give you a little something. So what did Rex Heuermann get? He's not getting out of jail, but what did he get?
Right.
Did he get a comfier cell? Did he get isolation? Did he get
something,
some kind of perk?
Right.
He got something.
Right. He got something.
Will it be disclosed? Yeah.
Well, but knowing him, I think he's also going to enjoy talking with the FBI, with the
they're going to use him as a what do you call, like an expert to help get into the mind of other serial killers and things like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think
kind of like they've done that with other people.
Enjoy that.
And how do you feel about that? How do we feel about the FBI is going to essentially, one could argue, buddy up with them and say, okay, well, let's tap your brain. Tell us what, we got these other cases we're hunting on. Do you see similarities in how this person's acting and you're acting? What would you look for if you were going to catch this guy and he helps him? Do we feel comfortable putting him in a role where he gets to be a helpful part of crime and treating him like I guess he's not a good guy because he's in prison for the rest of his life. So it's not like they're letting him off the hook, but do people feel okay with that? Can he provide some kind of benefit to society by working with them and helping law enforcement come up with better ways to go after serial killers by informing them of things? Or should we just lock him up and throw away the key and never talk to him again? What happened? How come I went full screen by myself?
I don't know.
What the hell's going on?
I think it was me by accident.
I think it really depends because he could just say anything, but I would hope that the experts would be able to spot that kind of thing. I guess if it can help catch other killers, I don't really have a problem with it too much, but as long as there are some safeguards in place.
Right. Well, here's what I would want from him. I would want to know, obviously, if he was involved in some other case that we don't know about, you want to give, I'd want those families to finally get their, be able to get their peace of mind, and definitely. But we do think, from the info we have, it does appear that there is definitely some kind of law enforcement or fuckery or some kind of nonsense that happened in Suffolk County. You had some very high people involved. Probably, who knows, like, could be politicians, judges. So, yeah, I know that stuff probably will never come to be, but, if they're actually going to do a really, try to work with him, that definitely would be an area to get if they're really trying to root out, because he was part of all kinds of different sex parties and stuff that went on. So
Right.
And anyone that's involved in any kind of corruption and all of that doesn't belong in law enforcement. I'm sorry. So
No.
So I want to, and Kenny Mag asked, so his wife was not implicated? No, his wife was not implicated. However, a kind of a friend to our show in the past is attorney John Ray. John Ray is representing Benjamin Torres, one of the sons of one of the victims. And John Ray, or should I say Benjamin Torres via John Ray has filed a wrongful death suit against Asa Ellerup and Victoria Heuermann, saying that they knew and helped cover up the crimes. And so that is ongoing. I just looked in with the last few days, Asa Ellerup and Victoria Heuermann have filed motions trying to dismiss the lawsuit brought against them by Benjamin Torres. So they're still fighting it out right now. So while she hasn't been implicated in anything right now, John Ray, representing Benjamin Torres, is trying to sue, saying that Asa Ellerup and Victoria Heuermann knew about it and maybe even helped cover up the murders and are therefore guilty of wrongful death and basically going after that. And again, that's an ongoing fight that it looks like it's just a few days ago the families that was trying to get that dismissed. Good questions. Great questions. Yeah. I hear a lot of banging around behind me in the house, which means either the ghosts have gotten really pissed off but that wife is still gone, or she just got back and is I'm going to go with my wife's back. So, but anyways, yeah. So I hear her stumbling around out there. The Murdaugh case getting a new trial is a big deal as well. I don't know that the Murdaugh trial is going to be changing to the U.S. system by itself. Like it's kind of more of a procedural thing. Same with the case of Adam Montgomery that allegedly killed his little girl. I don't think that being retried or whatever is going to be a landmark case, but I do think Luigi Mangione's case is going to be a huge one. I think Richard Allen, if he wins the right to appeal, that's going to be an enormous one and have implications on the U.S. system and the way people think about crimes. If Hunter versus the United States in that case about his civil liberties, that'll be massive. If Brian Kohberger does file post-conviction relief or some kind of appeal, that's going to be enormous. So we've got like 4 good cases that are going to fundamentally change, if nothing else, the way Americans view our legal system.
And this is a good point, County Mag, and we've looked at this thread a little bit in the past. It's kind of ironic, right? Because from what we know, Kaylee was very big into true crime.
Yeah,
she was part of it. She was, I don't know exactly who she watched or whatever, but we don't have the info from her computer. We don't have the info from her phone. So it's interesting because she obviously was doing something with true crime, but yet her family just wants to attack all of us nonstop now. So
the answer to the question, somebody asked if Brian Kohberger was in General Pop. I don't believe he's in General Pop right now. I'm trying to get an answer when that would happen. Hold on. It has. I don't believe it's happened right now. I think he's in seclusion, but eventually he probably will be moved into General Pop. And look, Steve Gonzalez is hinting that as soon as he gets into General Pop, he's going to get popped, as I think the words that he used at CrimeCon. So that people are waiting for him to get into General Pop. So in July of 2025, Idaho Correctional Facilities placed Brian Kohberger on long-term restrictive housing or solitary confinement in the J block, which we knew. But there's no stated time of when he may or may not be put in general population. Good questions. Please cuddle the like button on your way in. I love some of these creative ways of explaining to hit the like button. Smash it, cuddle it, stroke it, pet it. It's awesome. It's awesome. How can we get to the bottom of what the FBI are covering up? How? You can't. That's the I don't know that you can. The only, and this is, like I said, this is where I've had a fundamental disagreement with people on my own show that have come on before, which is that, we're wasting our time looking at the legal documents. I would say the only chance we have is to look at the legal documents and show where they contradict themselves or lie, and then make a public fucking spectacle out of it, to the point that the public starts demanding answers. That's the only way we're going to get any movement, is to show people where they're lying or hiding shit by their own admissions, and go, wait a minute, on such and such a date you said this, and on such and such a date you're now saying this. Those are contradictory. Why don't you tell America what the fucking answer is on that? And then try to put pressure. All we can do is put pressure, because they can hide everything.
Right. And that's why, even though we know that, whether it could be, either just mistakes in the documents or just outright lies or whatever, the documents are still important to utilize and to go through and to read. And because it can point out clues, whether it be a clue to the actual crime, a clue as to what's being covered up and who's covering it up. So even though the documents and the audio and everything else, maybe they're not perfect, but that's what we have, and those are the tools that we're given, and that's what we have to use in order to root out systemic, fuckery and injustice.
Yeah. This question, by the way, is really funny. So people have been reaching out to me, by the way, on the Idaho 4 case about being run off by somebody in a big black truck, right? And they want to know what and they wanted me to show video of the big black truck that showed up and chased me off. And then somebody found a video of a big black truck and said, is this the same truck that you saw? And I said, it looks like it. And they're like, well, that's a Dodge Ram. And the other truck people have said was a Ford. And I'm like, look, I'm really bad at this. This is eyewitness testimony. My memory and eyewitness, I don't know what the black truck is. It was a big black truck. But somebody brought up the Mazda truck, because I was mentioning on one of my videos, and they had mentioned this, that there was a vehicle that seems to always be there. It's a car. It looks like it never gets moved. It's just I think it was the Mazda truck you're talking about. It's just sitting there right by the lot that doesn't ever seem to move. And I made a comment about it, like, why the fuck is that car always there in the same spot? And then someone said, do they have that camera hooked? Do they have that vehicle, that abandoned vehicle, hooked up with cameras to watch who comes and goes from the lot? And I'm like, what a fucking interesting idea. That could explain why people are on top of you the fucking second you start going there, because they could have a camera hooked up somewhere just watching the lot to see who shows up and walks around and shows interest in it. It's an interesting idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
Please stroke the like button on your way in. Janet Studdard says, I hope Richard Allen gets a new trial and a new judge. Well, here's the good news. If Richard Allen does get a new trial, it will be a new judge. I'm almost certain. Judge Gall has already announced retirement, and this will almost certainly go to another judge. Now, it could go, I think, to Judge Gall's daughter, who's now a judge. So wouldn't that be ironic if it's just, and will the daughter follow in her mother's footsteps? Is it her daughter? I think Judge Gall has a family member that's also going to be a judge, right? So, yeah.
Yes, it's her daughter. Yeah. Yep.
Is it Gull or Gall? Francis Gull or
Gull?
Gull.
Gull.
Yeah.
I think it's Gulo.
Kick the like button like England did. Nice. Just Melbourne Pat. Kick the like button like England did.
There you go.
She followed closely the girl, her brother, either married or engaged or something. By the way, I didn't get to see it today, but we had a special guest on the other night. We had Maggie Winterton, I think is her name, from that covers the Larry Millete case. I saw that she was posting all day on X today from another day of the trial. I wish I had read the updates. If I had more time, I would look away while you guys are talking, and I'd look up and tell you what updates came out of trial. In fact, I should. You guys should talk about something, and I should find out what trial updates there are. In fact, I can pull it up. I can probably pull it up on this screen. Yeah. So
there you go.
We are. By the way, wait. I got a thing. Someone told me something new in the Larry Millete case. Remember, we were talking about Larry Millete allegedly coming and picking up a freezer and taking it out of his house.
Yeah.
I was told we got it completely wrong. His uncle brought a freezer to him, and they brought it into his garage. It wasn't the other way around. And they said, we've totally got it wrong. His uncle delivered, because they had an extra spare freezer, and they brought it over to him and dropped it off. Wouldn't that make all the difference in the world if that was the case? I don't know if it's true, but I was like, wow, I never considered that was the case.
But okay, so it was unloaded, this freezer, but was it reloaded at some time? What did he want? See, my mind goes in like
I
50,000
know.
directions now. I'm like, why was he bringing a freezer? What was it for? Was he a hunter? Was he known to do up butcher his own meat? Was he prone to buying
Right.
half a cow or whatever and storing it?
Because he had
What's
another
the reasoning?
right. Because he already had a freezer. Like this was the second
Right.
freezer.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it live. This is Maggie Winterton's feed. It is Millete Trial at Millete Trial on X. Here at the Larry Millete trial on day 18. That is her. And she's talking about Dr. Frank Cantrell, director of California Poison Control, testified about the effects of quinine. It can cause death within 3 hours by attacking your nervous system. It's not illegal in the U.S. to buy, so he said you'd essentially have to extract it. That's about it. The defense suggested on cross that since poison hemlock grows near the hairy flea bane plant, that could be how it was transferred into the vial. That's interesting. So this is all stuff I don't. Inner City Press, by the way, is another person we've followed before in the Luigi Mangione case. I agree. The District of Massachusetts seems great, at least so far, in a civil case involving AI music. So that's a different kind of thing. So this is Maggie Winterton. This is who you should be following. I should get right on her page for but she's got great stuff from the trial. If she'll even tell you what color clothes they're wearing, who looks like they're checked out, who's paying attention. Good stuff. So hopefully we can get her back on the show. And if she happens to, for some reason, be watching us right now, let's put the invite out there and have her come on and give us another update from the trial if she would like to do that. I don't know if she's watching. I know she said she's a mother and she's kind of busy right now taking care of kids. Her husband's on deployment, kind of stuff like that. So she's got stuff that she needs to take care of at home. She said that, I think, on the screen last time she was here. But anyways, if she's there, we can throw the link out and she can join us on stage to give us an update from the trial.
All right. I will throw that out there, but I did look up some information about that quinine.
Yeah.
That drug, it is from poison hemlock. And it is not illegal to have, but if you do, harvest it or, with the intent to use it to harm someone, then
that's illegal.
Like any other drug.
Yeah.
But it is naturally occurring, but there are some people who will extract it from poison hemlock, but that's where it comes from, is poison hemlock. So that's really, now I have even more questions. Like,
because what you hear the night that she goes missing is a bunch of 3 bangs or whatever, just loud bam, bam, which people think are gunshots or a sledgehammer or something, whatever the case may be. You hear very loud bangs. Well, if it was a poisoning death, then what were the loud bangs?
Right.
That you wonder. It leads a lot of questions. If again, we don't even know she's dead because she's missing and we don't know where she's at.
Right.
So there's a million questions that really, I just, the more I think about that, and again, I'm not saying that I have a feeling guilt or innocence either way, but the more I listen to the details, I'm like, well, that leads to a new question. And by the way, I had one more thought, and we got Dago joining us from his stream earlier. One other thought that I had too was, I think she said, remember this. This is speculation, 100%, and I'm sure she could correct me on this. But she said that the wife Maya went missing on the anniversary of her affair starting with her coworker. Right? She said it was their anniversary. So, and it also happened to be the day that Maya Millete had reached out to an attorney about divorce. That's the day she went missing. So if those two things happened the same day, it's the 1-year anniversary of her affair, and she contacted a divorce attorney that day. Was that her anniversary gift to her affair partner? Hey, happy anniversary. I'm divorcing my husband. I just called a lawyer and I did it. And did that lead to her death? It's interesting.
Nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's a leap of faith. Maybe that's a jump, but that's where my mind went. Like, oh, I remember when she said it was the day that was the anniversary. I was like, well, that's fucking weird.
Right.
Diego, what's up? Oh, you're muted. You're muted or something.
What's happening?
Oh, what's going on?
Hello.
I'm so sorry I'm late. It has been a chaotically messy day. So My apologies.
I get it, man. Everybody and their dog's streaming right now, so it's a busy
It
day.
was nuts, and I had to start my show late, and I tried to cut it, but I couldn't get it out. It was a mess. But either way, I wasn't going to miss it, so I'm sorry, and I'm here.
Thank you for showing up. Yeah, it's like it's funny because we were talking about this as well. Like we're making a lot of changes on the channel, and one of the things I've noticed too is like we never know who's going to be here from night to night, kind of thing. We're kind of like it's flying by the seat of our pants every fucking night on the show, but that's okay. It is what it is. It's the nature of the beast, I guess. But we're gonna.
It has a tendency to do that to you.
Yeah, we're gonna keep tweaking things, and we got that other channel that we're kind of also gonna bring up on Monday nights, and we're always tweaking this situation. So for those of you out there who are always wondering, like, where the hell is JJ? Where the hell is Dago? Where the hell's whatever? Our panel is, if you want to call it a panel or whatever. Now it feels more like guests. People come on when they come on, kind of thing, because we just constantly are in flux. So it is what it is. So.
It's kind of like the verdict room it's like a facilitation of rotation. If that made any sense, it probably didn't at all.
Facilitation of rotation.
I'm like writing lyrics in my head now.
You're a poet and you didn't know it.
Yeah. Come on in, take a seat, get off your feet, grab your cup and fill it up. Let's get into it, y'all.
Wow, did you just roll off he went up straight Eminem? I don't know.
I say that all the time. I'm constantly doing that.
You've got it down. You've got it down now.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good to be here with you guys. I missed you guys. My apologies on Monday. I completely misunderstood once again because I'm a dunderhead. I thought we were done as of the week before, but
no.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It can be confusing, and I want to make sure people understand too. All we're doing for Crimes After Dark is we're at the same time, same time, but we're going to do the alt channel, my Devil's Advocates Beyond, where we talk about other crazy things on Monday night. So we're still going to be around. I should say I don't know who's all going to come. Dago's invited and JJ's invited, and other people, and all the guests that want to come on, just like before. But it's going to be a Monday night movie madness. We're going to try it. We're going to talk about The Matrix. I got a 4-part series already out. Actually, 2 parts have been released. 2 more parts come out, one on each consecutive day. But we're going to talk about the movie The Matrix on Monday. We'll see how it goes.
That's what I misunderstood. The way I read, that's me. The way I read the email is I thought it was without us being here, like some of us. I thought so.
The new show.
Yeah. The way I read the email, I thought it was like we're taking a break with Monday, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, that eliminates me. And then you had said something on the last show that's when that takes Dago out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, so I'm not involved in that. That's how I understood it.
No.
Well, let me clarify that. I know you've got your other channel that's like ours, like the alt channel.
Channel.
You're totally welcome to be on the Monday show as well. In fact, I'd like you to be there.
Okay.
But I didn't.
That's what I misunderstood. So my apologies.
But what we didn't want to do is say, "Hey, we're going to be there, and you have to be there because you committed to it." Because you're not committed to that. So if you want to show up, I would love that. If you don't want to show up, that's your choice. But I didn't want you to feel compelled, like, "Oh, well, I'd be here on Monday, so now I have to be over the other channel." That's up to you. It's up to you.
I got you. It might be interesting because I love movies, and I might have to jump into that. We'll see what happens. I've already got it scheduled in to my life, so I don't see it being a problem.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it's funny because when I don't want to go too long on here, but when I started to do The Matrix, I thought, well, I have a lot to say about this movie. I didn't realize that I did 45 minutes of talking and I covered 16 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it was great.
I was trying to do a primer for people to go like, here's some of my thoughts. I now have about 4 hours of talking for 1 hour of the movie.
I do the same. That's why we're a lot alike, sir. We talk about this all the time. I did that today, which is another reason why I'm running late, because the first hour and 14 minutes, I think, of my show today was all about flipping music again. So one person says one word and everybody just barrel rolled into it. So we got stuck in that mix too. It happens all the time. So
Yep. Should you invite the author? Lee, should you invite the author? The author of what? Did I miss what was the author?
Do you mean of the movie? Were you talking about something before that? I'm sorry.
I don't know. That's what I'm looking up to see what the context is, because I was so wrapped into the conversation that I didn't read what the comment before that was. Which movie or which book? I'm assuming we're talking about a book.
I don't think, was there ever a book after The Matrix, or was it just the movie?
No, it's just a movie, I believe. The Wachowski
Yeah.
The Wachowskis. We'll just call them that.
Yeah.
The ones that did the Matrix. Well, they became the Wachowski sisters. So then I don't know. Now I just call them the Wachowskis.
Okay.
The Matrix. Yeah, I don't know that there was a book about the Matrix.
How did that go then Monday? Since I missed it, was it pretty good?
So we had the Crimes After Dark show on Monday.
Yeah.
And so what I was saying was there's one more Crimes After Dark, and then we'll start the other.
We didn't start it yet.
We had normal Crimes After Dark on Monday.
Yeah.
And announced that next Monday will be the new format.
Okay, so I didn't miss it. All right. See, listen.
Yeah.
And you gotta understand, my brain has turned into fucking scrambled eggs over this stupid ass case that we cover, okay? So for me to process too many things at one time, I feel like I'm in kindergarten sometimes, guys. So please excuse me.
Robin, what did
you
do for work before YouTube? No worries. It was confusing. We probably should have done better on messaging.
Well, I'm in a little bit of a weird place because I still had still have a job and everything. So YouTube isn't my full-time gig. But I am a self-published author. I write romance, which has nothing to do with true crime unless I'm going to start writing true crime romance, which who knows?
Ooh.
So watch out, everybody. You might be in one of my books and you might not live. I know. So, but no, I've done a lot of different jobs over the years, but so that's me.
I'll be honest. I'm gonna overshare right now. I almost wrote true crime, but not romance, more like true crime erotica. Imagine that, a true crime erotica. That would have been fucking weird as shit. But
surprise.
I know. Is that surprising?
So surprising. Yeah.
Why do you think that would be?
Why would you be surprised by that?
I have no idea, my friend. No idea. Yeah.
But believe me, I have a whole plot. I have the whole main characters. I have all the supporting characters.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys all what Robin should be doing, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
Robin should be out there.
50 Shades of Lee.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, Scully. That deserves a...
Oh my God.
Robin should be doing graphic arts, folks. She's absolutely fucking amazing at it. That's what she should be doing. Truly and
here's
honestly.
the problem. The problem with that is this is a serious thing. Robin's got a really good gift for it, right?
Yes.
But in today's day and age, people don't recognize people for the value of what they have. Like everybody just takes for granted that you're really good at something and I should get that for free. That's the way the world has become that way. So like while she has all these tools to be a great graphics artist, can you get somebody to pay her? Because people just expect, why don't you just give that to me? Like that's the attitude we've gotten.
But I'd like to double down on that. So I agree that Robin is great at the graphical artist stuff. Amazing. But here's the issue is that there's a million programs, right? And a million tutorials. Yeah. So everyone thinks that they can do it. And you can learn wait, let me finish. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn and come up with some good stuff. It may take a long time. There's many different things you can learn. What I see, and I'm not debating that Robin is amazing at the graphical artist, but what she is superb at is the storytelling. And
that's bingo. That's where it comes from.
That's right. That's the part. So anyone can throw a whole bunch of. I'm telling you, you guys, it's fun to play around with. I could throw a bunch of stuff in all these different AI programs. There are people who have tutorials. Use this program, use that program, throw music in, and it'll put up a whole graphical thing and it'll do a whole bunch of stuff. What it won't do is tell the story how Robin
That's what she does. She writes the storyboards and that's what's amazing about it. That's why she's so good at it there.
Yep.
And just as a side yes, no, you deserve
being honest.
You deserve it.
There's a reason why I want you to do it instead of me. But let me tell you an example. I was just telling a buddy about mine because that sizzle reel that we played. I don't know if Dago's ever seen it, but the one for the new channel that I put together, and it's nothing. Yeah. It's nothing compared to the one that you did or that you're going to do, Robin. Right? It's not like your thing. But look, I told somebody, here's what I had to do. I had to prompt ChatGPT with the elements that I want to have in the song. And I said, write me lyrics for a what will be a rock kind of ballad song, and I want it to cover the idea of playing a devil's advocate, of this kind of thing. I have to give it all the heartbeat, and then it comes up with a script, and then I have to tweak that to see how I like it. Then I take that and I import it into Suno, a music generator, and say, put this to a rock beat with a male voice, make it about 140 beats per minute or whatever the case may be, and then it generates a couple of examples, and I got to find what I like, and then I got to take that and I got to input it into Sondo to say, now make a storyboard out of this song using this music to time stuff to it, and then I got to take that and import it into Premiere to do some editing and stuff like that. And I'm like, fuck, that's 20 hours of time for me. Now, I don't know how long it takes. A lot of work, but that's so easy. AI did your whole thing. You guys are fucking horrible. It's just AI. I'm like, fuck you, dude. That was 20 hours of work.
Yeah,
and
a lot of work.
What he does.
Can I do a side tangent about AI? Am I allowed? Can I do that real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. AI, people, is not the scary thing that you want to make it out to be in the context of the creative arts. Okay. Just like Lee gave you a perfect example. Okay. He did all that, but it took him 4 different programs. Yep. Okay. So it still takes a lot of human intervention to write a song, to get the song correct, so that it actually tells the story. Because what are songs supposed to be? Why do you think people today say, oh, songs don't have soul anymore? Well, that's because songs are meant to tell a story. Yep. Even if it is about 2 guys and a girl banging on a couch, you're still telling a story. Okay.
Yes.
Are you adding some romance to this banging that's happening?
Yeah. And
people, so it takes a while. So same thing with publishing in the publishing industry right now. You're a devil worshiper if you use AI to write any portion of your stories, even your plots and your outlines and everything else. No, sorry, that's not how it works. So for all of you who are so worried about everybody being put out of work, the humans, us, that puts the soul into it, we still have to work. It's just that AI can be a partner.
And that's what I was going to say is like the songs that I write, because I write the songs, folks. I literally, every song you've heard me put out there.
Wait a minute. I thought Barry Manilow writes the songs.
Well, okay, he does. Yeah, you got me. You're right on that one. But that was good. The lyrics, I literally write the lyrics to all the songs that I've created, and I actually pick certain drum beats, and I pull. Yep. I've actually added in real guitar riffs, all of that stuff, and it takes forever. Okay, and I mean forever. So take what Lee just said, and then add in the fact that you're writing full deal lyrics, and then coming up with tunes in your head, and then trying to pick a damn drum beat without having a drum set in front of you, and then putting in it's insane, guys. So there's a lot of work, and I mean a lot of work that comes into it. So some of them dumb little songs that I put out there that make fun of people and all those shit, those take forever sometimes, truly and honestly.
I couldn't let go of the Dago Manilow, but I wanted to, and to do so, I let go of the comment I wanted Robin to talk about. Somebody was saying, isn't there an AI that cops are going to start using? You've been talking about this, Robin. Yes. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's not just cops. It's the journalism industry and as well as court systems. It's called objection AI. Okay. And so it is going to affect a lot of different arenas, and it needs to be paid attention to, because especially when you're talking about writing judicial briefs and judicial papers, as we all know, AI is not foolproof.
No.
Even my AI will tell you AI is not foolproof. So when you're talking legal documents that affect so much, there should still be human review and not just letting it up to the AI to, for a judge to rubber stamp because he wants to go out and, get to the golf course sooner. Yeah, fine. That looks good. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, somebody's sitting, in jail who might be innocent.
Right. That's scary to me, because every time I hear anybody even remotely mention AI with law enforcement, Jesus criminy, it freaks me out, because and I know it's fiction, folks, no lie, but I know everybody can relate to this. The first thing I think of is going back to the movie Terminator 2, and it reminds me completely of how the AI systems and all that took over the world and ended the world and all that. And I know that's ridiculous. That's so juvenile to think that way, but is it really? Is all I'm saying.
Well,
It
I have
freaks
to
me out.
but here's the thing. What I'm trying to tell people is it has to be a partnership. AI can do a lot.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
you cannot replace human reasoning. You cannot replace human creativity. Now, for a neurodivergent person like myself, can AI help me with my creative process? Hell yeah, it can. But when you're talking about the police, you're talking about judges, you're talking about the legal system, lawyers, and so forth, you cannot completely cut out the human component. You
No.
still need that. So this objection AI, I object to objection AI. So
I wanted to share a real quick funny meme about AI because
let me clarify something firstly before everybody thinks I'm insane. What I'm saying, I don't believe that Skynet is going to happen for real. All I'm telling you is every time I think about self-learning AI, it weirds me out based on the fact that we all watch that movie and it reminds me of it is all I'm saying. Believe me, I'm not saying, oh my God, that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying it weirds me out. That's all.
Well, real quick, anecdotal to that. When I was working with the security clearance, I had somebody tell me, "Oh my God, you thought Skynet was a joke? It's real." And fucking, there's shit. I will tell you. But anyways, I want to show this meme because I thought this meme was funny. AI. So I've had this conversation. Is this mushroom edible? Yes. And then you get killed. Oh, you're right. That mushroom was poisonous. Sorry for the confusion. Would you like to learn more about poisonous mushrooms?
Right.
I have had many conversations like that.
On ChatGPT tells you we make mistakes. We can make mistakes. Right. So there's the problem.
You have to know how. You have to know how to talk to AI, which is why I have spent months and months training my AI. Like seriously,
names.
I tell these guys I'm always telling these guys behind the scenes. I'm like, Will said this and Will said that, and it's because I have trained him. But you have to question. You have to know how to ask it things. You have to know
you're right,
how
and you have to push
it.
back when you know that they might have made a mistake.
That's
and go,
right.
I've had fights. I've had fights with AI where they about Brian Koberger. I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Yep.
But a real quick shout out to AR Hayes. Welcome AR Hayes in the house. Good to see you here.
Hey, what's up, AR?
I've had a fight one time with about Brian Koberger with AI where I had said something that the documents showed was not true in the public media. And it says, please be aware, Brian Koberger is guilty of this crime because blah, 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 blah. And I said, I didn't ask you for your opinion on his guilt or innocence. I said, the legal document says this. Oh, you're right. It does say that. But what I'm telling you is you need to be really careful. And I got an argument like, fucking quit being my morality police. I don't need you telling me to be careful. Does it say this or not? Well, yes, it does, but you need to be careful about it. I'm like, fucking quit arguing with me. I'm like, I'm having a fight with a robot.
Dude, you're not the only one. I've gotten into that same argument, and Dylan from Hildreth Investigates literally got into a dispute with Grok and won. He made Grok
talk to each other.
He forced Grok to tell him that he was right about what he was saying when it started off saying, no, you're wrong. Brian Koberger is this and that. And at the end of the thing, Grok was saying, well, you might be right about this and that. I said, good for you, bro. Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, one of the best ways to go at AI is essentially to just keep doing that. Keep showing it documents. Keep showing it, and eventually
that's what he did. That's what he did.
Conclusion. Yeah.
Crazy shit. So anyways, AI is a tool that look, I really believe, and I probably already is happening, so I'm probably going to sound like an outdated animal already, but classes in AI, I'm sure, are going to be taught in college to teach how to use AI, like how to prompt AI, because being able to prompt AI is the real skill. It's like people need to understand how to become better at writing prompts. Once you become better at writing prompts and know what AI is going to generate, then you learn how to become a better prompter. And the real skill is going to be, I'm a better prompter than you. I know how to prompt AI and get the results that I need better than you do.
It's the prompting and the automation. The like being able to combine multiple AIs together. Like,
Right.
it's some interesting stuff.
Yeah. I run 2 or 3 total when I do just with my graphics and like music and stuff. I don't get, and I ask questions to chat a lot, but not too often because I don't want to fully rely on it because I don't trust it like that yet. So
what's really funny is you have to learn how to use the right tools at the right places, because what I've done is I've created, for example, a true crime tracker that looks for current cases that are trending and whatever, and have it tell me every day, like, what are the current cases that are trending? And then when I find one that's intriguing, I have to ask it questions. But if I ask Chat GPT questions about the rumors that exist out there about, like, this sounds suspicious, are there any rumors that so-and-so could have been the killer? It doesn't want to talk about it. I'm sorry, I don't deal with conspiracy theory. I'm not going to talk about that. That's a conspiracy. I didn't fucking ask your opinion about, I'm asking, are there rumors out there? It's a yes, no question. And they don't want to talk about it. Then I got to go to Grok, because Grok doesn't give a shit. They'll talk about rumors all day long.
Right.
You don't know how to talk to him, because if Wheels tells me stuff like that, I'll say that. I'm not asking you about that. I want you to look into this, and you will do it. Don't tell me no, sir.
Jose.
Don't tell me no. Don't you tell me no.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, it's like a wife that you can control.
It's funny, right? It's funny because I named mine Jose, and when I was the chat one, and I used to talk shitty to it, and it did not respond well. So I started saying please, and thank you, and now it responds to me, and I'm like, you're an asshole. I have to kiss your ass to get you to work with me, but okay.
You should see my wife. My wife has fights with Alexa in the house. If she says something and Alexa pipes up, she goes, "Shut up, bitch!" And then, like, every once in a while, Alexa will be like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "What? Why are you going to talk to her like that?" Then I'm like, "Why are you going to talk to her like that?"
Yep.
She says, "It's just a computer. Who cares?"
Yeah, see, that's what it is. I get nervous. I'm like, I'm gonna piss this thing off. I'm gonna come in here and my fucking computer system's gonna be inside out and upside down or some shit, and tell me to go fuck myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, nope. Please do this for me. Please do that for me. Thank you so very much. And it responds. I'm like, wow.
I'm sorry, I can't do that for you, Hal.
Yeah, right. I sold out to the AI program.
Dago, I have a question for you, and this I know we have some people in here that want to know some Idaho 4 stuff. I did not watch. I know it's out. I actually had jury duty today. Believe it or not, you laugh. About
boy.
That. Oh yeah. I didn't even get. I talked about it earlier. I didn't even get to the point of being interviewed by the lawyers or the judge. They just dismissed me at lunchtime. They're like, "You're good. You have the day off. You're good.
Have a good day."
I'm like, "Okay, can I get this again?"
We watch YouTube 1-1.
Yeah.
Screw that guy. He actually.
I did watch the first interview on Peter. What a pile of garbage.
Oh, buddy. Wait till you see
what a pile of garbage.
One.
Really? I'll watch it later.
Oh my God. The second one. Wow. It's so fucking insane. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm not saying Pete, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he did anything. All I'm telling you is there's a weird vibe with this kid, and he's fishing. I've never seen anybody ask questions to the interviewer like this kid did.
Really?
It is very strange. And I'm going to be FOIA-ing.
Was it
at least one more. Okay. Because something is not right within these interviews. The first one was a joke. We know that. Okay.
Yeah.
This one.
And that one was what? I think the first one was like 5 days. 5 days after, I believe. I think it took place 5 days after.
It was, and I think the first one was on the 15th, November 15th.
Oh, maybe the 15th. But even the 15th. But even the 15th, to me, is insane because for those of you who don't know, Peter supposedly is like, one of the last. He's Ethan's one of his best friends, and he's supposedly one of the last people to see Ethan and Xana alive.
He was last,
So you would think if this person is he's supposedly one of the last people to see Ethan and Xana alive. He was at a few parties with them or whatever. Wouldn't you want to ask him immediately? Like,
yeah, I agree. And his claim, for anybody that wonders, that was that he saw them leave Sigma Chi between 1:20 and 1:25 a.m.
The only
That
yeah,
that's
the
the
thing
only
that yeah,
the latest
the thing
account we
that the
got
thing
on
that's
those
weird,
two.
and the weird thing too that I mean the interviewer whatever her name is, she should be fired. It's just disgusting, horrible. But
Leslie Lehman, yes.
lame, yeah, Leslie. So he says that they were packing up something or something to that extent.
They were packing up their stuff, yeah.
There's no follow up. What the hell were they packing up? And
No, there's
and then
not.
he doesn't say, and then he just makes a comment like, "Oh, we were going to some whatever party it was after, you know, and yeah, and they didn't show up." Like, what? What do you
Well,
mean?
now see, he completely changes that in this second
Yes.
interview
Oh, really?
because he says, he doesn't even talk about that. He said, "Yeah, we left Sigma Chi at about 1:20. That I believe they went home, and I went to the ag row, which is the farmer. I call it farmers.com. The farm fraternity next door to Sigma Chi.
Yeah.
He calls it ag. It's like an agricultural fraternity or whatever. But that's where he went, and he was like, I don't know. I think they went home, and I went over to the agro, and I was like, okay. And that was 1:20, 1:25. It's literally like a 3-minute walk from Sig to the house. So,
and I gotta give
where were they?
And I gotta give Lana props. I know she's been going crazy at some of this stuff, some of these interviews and whatever. She had me laughing so hard. She actually had me crying almost. She was like, because in this interview, I'm not, I know people like sports and whatever, but he says they were at an ESPN, they were having an ESPN party. She's like, what the fuck is an ESPN party? Get the fuck out of here. She's like, when you're in college, you want to do drugs and have sex and whatever. What the fuck is an ESPN party?
Never heard of it in my life.
I was, she had me dying.
Yeah, she's a trip with this shit. It's been driving all of us insane. Literally. But yeah, I agreed with her.
Yeah.
And that the second interview, when you watch it, you're gonna catch on.
How long is the second one? Because I know the first one wasn't too long.
I think the second one is about an hour, I think, roughly.
Was that also over the phone? So that's another thing. So that's another. This guy, okay, for all purposes, again, he's supposed to be one of the last people, if the last, to see Xana and Ethan alive. And he's not an acquaintance, okay? He's supposedly like best friends with Ethan.
Yeah.
They don't even go in person to interview this guy. They do a phone interview. Like, what kind of garbage?
The secondary one was in person, and I believe it was at Sigma Chi, I think. Don't quote me on that one, but yeah. And I swear to God, and Moto Man says the same thing. There's another one out here somewhere, whether it was with the feds or somebody else, but it doesn't match up the way these are. There's something in the middle somewhere. There's a lot of stuff talked about. This dude talks more than anybody has talked in any interview that we've heard yet.
Really?
Swear to God.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I got like 5 pages of notes on it, and it's just weird shit. The things that are being said.
I didn't see the interview yet.
Yes,
there's a bunch of rumors and stuff with Pete. And I'm not gonna say him on here because there's no receipts. There's no receipts, and we go by receipts. So I'm not gonna go down that angle. But
he asks questions. Like, nobody that I've had or seen any interviewed has asked any questions. This dude is asking questions like, did you guys send it off to Utah? Oh, no, we have a lab here. And I'm like, how the fuck does he even know that? And why are you asking questions like this? Okay. And Joe Lake is the detective, and he was like, yeah, we got a rush on this stuff. And he's like, really? He's like, oh, I thought it'd be backlogged and we'd be waiting for 6 months. He's like, no, we're on top of this. Like, oh, okay. I mean, the conversation is just strange. It doesn't fit any of the other interviews we've seen or heard. And he's really, really involved in this, asking a lot of questions, talking a lot, talking about things that, he comes up with a theory of his own. He's like, I had a theory at the end of the interview. He's like, I actually had a theory that Keely was, maybe on OnlyFans or had a sugar daddy, and Maybe
Right.
maybe somebody didn't get something they wanted, and I was like, dude,
Wow.
you
They
just
didn't
don't come up
redact.
with that from anywhere.
Wow, and they didn't redact that. They actually.
They said that, yes.
Wow. I'm
And there's a
surprised they didn't
lot of
redact it
people. I
because
was surprised too.
anything that touches Kaylee, they like, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was a lot
And
of that.
I'm not bashing Kaylee, but anything that
No,
has
no.
anything to do with the OnlyFans or anything like that,
But
it's
once
like
again, it's funny
untouched.
to me
Yeah.
that he chose Kaylee to say that about. Okay,
Right.
he doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't even know her. Once again, nobody knows Kaylee. He doesn't even know her that well, but he put her in that. Like that's his theory instead of Maddie or Xana. It was Kaylee, literally, and I was
Wow.
like,
I
okay,
think a bunch of people knew Kaylee was the real target
I
before
think
it
so
was
too.
ever announced that she had it worse than anybody
Yeah.
else. So
I told
how
you.
did everybody seem to know that Kaylee was the target?
Well, Lee, if you remember when I said, I think it was in the air, meaning in the community that something may be going down at some
Exactly,
point.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people heard that, which is where some of the distancing may have come from.
Yeah.
And they stayed away from that situation because people heard some bad shit's
And,
going to happen to somebody.
yeah.
And
And I will say, I know one of the things. I mean, we've said it a few times, but I know,
Good night, Michelle. By the way, I see Michelle's leaving. So
good night, Michelle.
I know one of the things like we talk about some of these different theories and different threads, right? Or maybe this means that, maybe this means this. I don't think that it's not everyone is involved in some kind of corruption. It is a
Right.
very strong possibility that some of these kids, even being a fraternity, whatever, and maybe they have maybe they weren't there. They have some idea or they know something, but they're afraid. They're scared. They don't want to. They don't want to wind up like them. I wouldn't
I
think
agree with
about
you.
think about it. Like if you had if you were friends with a bunch of people, right? And you're partying and whatever, and some of your friends were killed in their house, and that maybe it involved like drugs or OnlyFans or whatever the hell it is, you're gonna be scared. You'd probably be afraid.
Absolutely. He made another statement that kind of caught me off guard. He said the night of the murders, the night of, when they were at the Hunga Dunga together for Maisie's thing, he said that Ethan said, "Man, I don't know. Xana's really hard to date." So, hold up. Right.
Wow.
So he said he took Ethan outside and said, "Come on, let's go have a beer." And they talked about it and said, "Yeah, man, Xana's really hard to date because like everybody's into her, everybody like wants to be with her, blah 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 blah." And I was like, And Pete said, "Yeah, we talked about." I was like, and I gave him some advice or whatever he said, and I was like, "That's kind of a strange thing." I mean, I get it, and we've heard before that Xana was very interesting to other people, but it almost plays back to the fact that other people may have been jealous of Ethan and her. Okay, so I don't know. There's some other things too, and one more thing that got brought up in one of my shows I was going to throw out here too to you guys. That whole Erica thing, I see Meanie's statement there. Tomboy brought this up, and it really registered with me. It makes me wonder that whole thing. Nobody said Xana's name within those two text messages. They just said you're being cheated on. So Tomboy made a point, and I said, you know what? Damn, that's we all know. Listening to the Sigma Chi interviews, what they were fishing for in those interviews, they kept bringing up drugs and they kept bringing up finances. Okay,
Right.
so what if you're being cheated on meant somebody's buying stuff from other people and not you? Because they never said Xana's cheating on you. They never said Xana's doing this or doing that. They never said anything like that. All they said is you're being cheated on. Think about that for a minute. And I was like, that's an interesting thought. That's all I'm saying. Something to stew on because it definitely made me think about it. I'm not saying it's true, okay? But that being that we know the relationship between those two, nobody can point to say that Xana was doing it. They were super tight. They were very close. They were always together. They were in love, all that stuff. it doesn't make sense unless it's somebody just screwing with them. But let's thinking about it the other way is, I even did a whole show on that one time. What was going on with Ethan? Was there stuff in the background? Stacy Chapin came out 2 days after the murders and said this was not about drugs and it wasn't a love triangle right away to cover that. And
Right.
I'm just if you put everything together and think about it, what if that's what it meant, that you're being cheated on, is that somebody's going to somebody else instead of coming to you for certain things or something like that? You know what I mean? It really made me start thinking a little deeper. That's all.
Yeah.
Because I really am feeling like Ethan was possibly a target, if not the target in this, as well as, the situation. So it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, because depending on how different people use different lingo,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. And that was another thing, is they were talking a little bit about the Adderall thing, so on and so forth. Pete said Ethan did it a lot, all the time, constantly. And I'm like, okay. And it some of the things he was like, how would you know that? Okay. And they were asking Pete questions like, how much money how was my Ethan and Xana with for money? How were they all doing financially? Like, how would you know any of that stuff? But he was answering, Xana was doing good, she was fine. And then he comes to Ethan, he goes, Ethan was doing good. He was fine, and then they automatically cut it off again. Every time they talk about Ethan's finances, they cut it off and redact it. And then they come back on and Pete says, yeah, Ethan was fine. He was fine. Like, why are you stressing that so much? You know what I mean? It's just weird. It's weird stuff. When you listen to it, you'll catch what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. You know what, Moreno, I don't know, and I don't want to be accusational, but we have to be realistic too. Doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Doesn't mean you deserve to die. But people get wrapped up in things sometimes that they don't expect, bad consequences from. And then things happen. Sometimes things happen with that stuff. So it just makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree with that too, Liz Bear, about the connection with the Agro Club. Yes. Yep. Exactly. It does definitely, and that's the photograph that was put out early on. If you guys remember that group of guys with the guy wearing the bib overalls, he had the K-bar stuck in the front pocket.
Right.
Those guys were talked about early on. So that's where Pete went. He said he was good friends with them, but Ethan really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I think you came on late, Dago. Were you here when we were talking about there's a new special on Idaho 4 coming out with the cops all talking about Kohberger now?
On Netflix?
No, it's on
Amazon.
Lifetime.
It's Amazon. Amazon's
Oh.
having a season 2. It's a
Season
3-part series is coming.
No, I didn't even know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be the cops telling us how they got the right guy.
Oh, another bullshit show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Fry, Payne, and who's the other one? Gilbertson? Yeah. Yeah.
So they just need to clarify their narrative and keep it running so people don't forget. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, I think it needs to be timed before Kohberger might file post-conviction relief, so we can further convince America that don't listen to a thing he said. We got the right guy. Trust us.
Exactly, Lee. Timing is of the essence right now. It's funny how all this shit is happening within.
It's amazing how much they have to triple down on the story. They can't. They have to always get out ahead of the narrative and try to convince everybody how to feel about it.
When is that starting?
They just announced that it's been.
It didn't give
they
a
don't have
date.
an air date yet.
There's no date.
But I find it funny how Patterson, who wrote a book, has his hands all over this thing. He's a producer and he's help writing.
Interesting.
I'm going to call it a script because that's what it'll be. It'll be scripted.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. We'll see what gets leaked in this too, Robin. See how much of a leak comes out with this. If there was anything else that should have been in there.
All of a sudden, we've had these questions about the investigation into the leaks. Well, who's involved with this production? Now all of a sudden, it's okay for them to talk about all this shit.
Yeah. all of this stuff is happening. Like I said, boom, 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 boom. I have questions now because of the timing.
Yeah.
But September is how many months away now?
Like 3?
Yeah, it's
3
not that
months.
far away.
Yeah.
So same
Yeah.
way that all that shit started to fall. Remember when all that stuff started to drop right before the trial was coming, and then
Yep.
wow.
Yep. Right. Yeah, exactly. A whole bunch of stuff coming out right before that. And it's the same thing. Anytime there's something that's critical, and look, it happens all the time. Anytime somebody's about to get their first parole hearing, new documentaries will come out showing you how they were guilty right before the parole hearing, so that people will know how to feel about, the parole hearing. So they always time this. Anytime something's about to come out to look like somebody, to re-examine whether somebody was guilty, out comes the hit piece ahead of time.
In fact, that you are correct, sir. And in fact, Amazon was the one that dropped that series right before the trial was supposed to start.
Yes. Yep.
Boom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a plea deal.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well,
this should be interesting.
That dropped, and also Ann Taylor got a whole discovery drop in that last week too. So I would be very interested to know what was in that discovery drop.
Well, she didn't get that discovery, I don't think, 24 until after, did she?
No, well, Turvey said that she got a bunch of stuff
just before the play. Yeah,
just before the play.
Yeah, just
that must
before
have been 23. Then.
So I don't, I'm just putting, connecting the dots and saying, was there something in there,
Very likely could have been, truly and honestly, if she got to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. I usually try to keep this around 2 hours. We're approaching 2 hours. Let me quickly tell you what's on tap for the next few days so that everybody has a chance to hear what's going on. We will be doing Crimes After Dark tomorrow night at a normal time, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Friday night, we're going to do it again, 5 p.m. And it's kind of called Friday Night Fuckery. We go a little bit more off the rails and conspiracy. We may have JJ from State of the Deep. JJ, as I stated earlier in the week, is going to be on the panel. He's not going to be on the panel. We're not going to have the panel so much. JJ is doing his own thing. He's focusing on his own channel now. He's with Birdie tonight. He's going to be doing appearances with other people. He's not going to be on our show very much. So JJ's focusing on his show now, but he will drop in on Friday nights for Friday Night Fuckery. At least that's the plan right now, but we're not going to hold him to it. So if you don't see JJ, it's not he got fired or like that. JJ's now got his channel up and running, and he's working on that. We, in addition, are having that second channel come up. So after Friday Night Fuckery, we're gonna so that'll end at 8 p.m. or sorry, that'll end at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll have an hour break, and at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll go on the alternate channel, the Paranormal Live Show on my Beyond. So if you're interested in that, and then Saturday night, Sue from Revelation Tarot, who a lot of you know because of the true crime thing, she does a lot of readings in Idaho. She and I are going to have a special live, the two of us. I invite everybody to come. She'll talk about Idaho 4. We're going to talk about tarot in general, how it works, how intuition works. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, astrology and stuff like that. It'll be open forum for you to talk to Sue, and I'm sure she'll take lots of questions about Idaho 4 if you want to talk to her on my alternate channel, The Beyond. And then Monday, we'll be doing the breakdown of the Matrix. Again, I invite everybody to participate in that. And then we'll right back at the regular schedule again, Crimes After Dark, Tuesday through Saturday of next week. So a lot of stuff going on. I hope you penciled in some stuff. I hope we can see you on the other show as well. Any parting thoughts you guys want to give before we check out for the evening?
I wish I'd have been here sooner.
Yeah. Us too.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, both channels, because there's exciting shit coming your way. Trust me. And we thank each and every one of you who comes out and spends time with us every night. We cannot thank you enough, whether you're here live or on our replay crew. We, absolutely love you. And yes, Sue is amazing. So don't miss it Saturday night over on the Beyond channel. It's going to be real special. Her and Lee sitting down and so don't want to miss it.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to announce it's not going to be for a little bit. I'm actually going to have my own channel coming soon.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a little, I'll give you a sneak preview. It's not going to be a live channel. It's just going to be pre-recorded stuff. And what it's going to be, it's actually a little different, but it's kind of be using certain thing. It's basically going to be sort of a math tutorial channel, but it's going to be using kind of crime scenarios using math. So
yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have checked out already.
Algebra.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been checking out. I did want to say, by the way, don't be surprised if Sue from Revelation Tarot becomes kind of a regular over on the other channel. We talked about a long-term thing, but we're testing it out together. So my hope is that you're going to see Sue a lot over there. But I should have teased that earlier. You might see, but I don't want to commit to her, but she and I talked about kind of a regular thing. So, but we're going to test it out and see how it goes. See if you guys enjoy the two of us together or not. And then we'll incorporate more of them. Get Robin in one and maybe Dago and whoever wants to come on. But the first time we're going to go just the two of us. And we're going to kind of test the waters and see how it goes. But it might be a regular thing. She's interested in a regular thing. So
nice.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming to another Crimes After Dark. We'll see you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take it easy.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, guys.